Good evening. Good evening. This is Valerie McDowell, your writer, editor, author, book coach, and consultant, here for another Write It Out Wednesday. It is the first Wednesday in February. We are in a new month, so happy February, a month of love, among other things. So thank you for joining me here tonight. And I work with writing and time challenge clients, helping them get their stories told and their books published. And as we are in a new year, we are getting close to 20 published books just in the last 2 years. So y'all, I've been busy. My writers have been busy. My authors, my new authors, we did a showcase just 2 weeks ago with Rhonda, and she's still giddy and she's putting out all kinds of wonderful things. And so tonight we want to talk about how to grow through resistance. Now, Write It Out is our twice a month broadcast where we come before you to put you back at the top of your writing list. So many times, and my week included, has just been like, where's all this stuff coming from? But it's a lot of things that I have on my plate, but I try to be consistent and come to you because I know I tell you to be consistent in your writing. So one of the things we have to learn how to do is grow through resistance. There are lots of things that will come to try to push against you and keep you from doing what you need to do. You think the resistance is trying to block you, but we're going to talk about some things tonight about that. So, and a shout out to all of my course members. Thank you. You guys are the best. I had a great time with you in class and on our Q&A. So keep pushing. You are doing it. I can't wait to see some of these books that are coming out. And so I celebrate you. I honor you guys. You're doing the work. So tonight we're going to be talking about how to grow through resistance. It's going to come, y'all. It's going to come. And the thing about it is you cannot grow without any resistance. I mean, you can't grow strong. I mean, think about people who lift weights and different things. It's like, they keep putting on more. You start at 5, 10, 50, 100. Next thing you're benching your whole body weight or more. There are people benching 300, 400, 500 pounds. That's a lot of resistance, okay? Because most times they're not that weight. So they're pushing against what they are. And so as I thought about this, like I said, I thought about all the things that are going on, that even now, just in the second month of the year, many people are feeling pressure from this way or that, many things that might be on their list that they want to accomplish. But the thing is, you have to learn how to embrace the resistance, learn how to embrace those things that seemingly are pushing against you. Because if you embrace it, it actually helps you build that muscle for what it is that you need to do. Because as humans, we like what's easy. We don't want to do anything that's hard. It's like, January has passed. Many people, this year might be different as last year was. But, in the past, January was the month where people would come on, diets, and they get their workouts in and they start, this year I'm going to do this, and before the month is out, they've already let it go. They're not doing it anymore. And so, because they weren't really committed, or the little bit of resistance they encountered, like, when they didn't eat as much, they got a headache. And I'm like, okay, not eating, it gives me a headache. I got to eat again, whatever the discomfort they were feeling. And so we want things easy, even at the expense of what's best. Okay. That sometimes comfort, and even our brain, particularly when you've kind of run a groove in your brain and your mindset and your thinking to do the easiest thing, to go the easiest route, it may work in traveling in a car or something like this way is easy, but does it take you out the way? Do you, are you in back roads because you're avoiding traffic and then, something happens and there's no way to get to you because of you're on that back road. So sometimes the easiest thing is not always the best thing. Okay. And the same with decisions. The easiest decision may not be the best decision. And so I've recently had to make a decision about hiring someone for my staff. And, it's taken me a while to get the right person, and I've had some great people, but I really needed someone who had some other skills than what I had, and who could do some things that I can't do, because I can easily, work with someone who can do what I do, but then that's just duplicating me. I need someone who can do what I can't do. So I have to push past the resistance to do what's easy and get someone and they can do, it's like, okay, well, just do that. I would do that. No, I don't know how to do what they're doing. I'm like, I need you to do this, So, learning new ways to do things, and then, to have a better team and to build out those things that you don't have. I don't need to duplicate me. Plus, it can't happen. It's just me. But the thing is, you want that team member, those skill sets, people who can also say, no, Val, this is a better way to do that. And I'm like, okay, let's do it the better way. Might not be the easiest way, but it's the better way in the end. And after a few maybe extra steps now, it will definitely free up some steps later. So it's like right now we're onboarding and doing some new things. And so I'm having to push past, I don't want to do live videos. I don't want it. It's like, yeah, get it done. I got 4 done yesterday in 10 minutes. And it's like, whoa, I just had to do some quick videos. So it was like, get it done. And so that's what we're talking about, that resistance and comfort. Those are things we love, but, and definitely it's easier to sit in front of TV than it is to read a book or even to write your book. It's easy to just binge watch. What is it? Bridgerton? A lot of people, it's like, have your Bridgerton, but get your other stuff done too, because, sometimes, we instantly categorize things that are new or different based on our previous experience without even knowing what's coming. And so sometimes, we start tricking ourselves to not do something before we even try to get it done. But the thing is, if you've been doing something the same way over and over again, you know what that is, you're going to get the same results. It's like, so I'm encouraging you to do something different, because following the path of least resistance can become a habit. It become that thing, you don't even think about it. You're like, I'm gonna do this. When you really could be doing some other things. Some people, you might eat the same thing over and over again. That may be easy for one purpose, but it also can be boring. Like traveling to the same place all the time, or, other things that you might do. Like, you always eat this for the holidays. Can you switch it up? Or you always go here for your birthday. Is there someone else maybe that might be good to go, So sometimes you have to add a little change and interest into your routine in order to get a better result. So one of the things I just want to share with you, just a couple of points, is number one, embrace the resistance. It helps us to grow and it helps us to move forward. Because without resistance, if I don't push against, or even embrace it, I don't move forward, because there's so many new things that I've had to embrace in the last couple of years. But it's like, wow, I can see the growth. I can see the change. I can see the movement. Had I not done that, even with my coach, it's like, hey, Nicole, good to see you. Like, even with my coach, she has challenged me to do some things I've never, ever done. But it's like the fact that I'm doing it, it's like, and not only, it was one book, but we're 20 in. It's like, would that have happened had I not been pushed? Or even doing lives. We're 2 years doing this. When I remember the first one's like, what am I say? But now it's a conversation. It's a conversation. It's just like, what's on your mind? How can you encourage people? So the thing is, embrace the resistance. It helps you grow and move forward. Number 2, this one I love, because it's like, I never want to be this. Don't choose to be average. And not that there's anything wrong with being average, but you don't want to choose to be average. Like, why? It's like, be brilliant, be smart, be beautiful, be bold, be different, but don't be average. It's like, if you were making up, this fantastic recipe you want to give, like say you were making a cake for someone and they were like, oh, and you spent all day and you knew it was a masterpiece and all this stuff. And you asked the person that you gave it to, it's like, how was the cake? And they were like, oh, it's average. You're like, what? Average? Or, you're in a relationship with someone and you're like, oh my God, you guys look so good together. How's it going? How's it going? It's average. It's like, it just doesn't feel the same. And so I don't want to be average. It's like, I'm told I'm very different, and part of it is I like so many different things. I like theater and art and dance and music and history and science and all kinds of things. And it's just like, and I will go into those different areas at different points in my life, that I'll research that and go here and see this. And, I'm always amazed when I see something I read about in a book, or I learn the history, or I meet someone. Like I met a woman who was one of the first people to live, first Black people to live on Martha's Vineyard. Met her family. They wrote a book. I was like, what? Just because I decided, you know what, I'm going here this vacation and not somewhere else. But we ended up meeting her, and then she drove us around the island. It's like amazing. Not average. Totally not average, because we're hanging out with the person who wrote the book, who laid all the markers of where people of color in Happy Black History Month, were in Martha's Vineyard, because she's like, we're everywhere. So that was just great experience. And the thing about it is, the average person can be bored or complacent sometimes, Yes, you have to always be eclectic, like outfits, colors, designs. I got new hairstyle. It's like it's constantly changing, because I see something, it's like, oh, I like that style, or do something different. I got my green on, it's like, I like color, I like change, I like casual, I like fancy. It's like, you can do it all, and keep people guessing, really. It's like, what is she going to come up with next? How is she going to look? And I think part of it is like a lot of my interests, I'm seeing how it really relates to my clients that I help with books, because there are so many, like no client is the same. Like we're working on books on social justice, children's books, historical family narratives, fun books. It's like scholarships, all kinds of things. It's like, and because I have an interest in so many things, it's like I can immediately connect to these people. They're like, wow, you know about that? Like, I've been working in juvenile justice for 20 years, but I also used to paint and draw. And if somebody talks about dance, it's like, I danced for like 30 years. It's like theater, I did that for 20, like I have lots of experience. I love to travel. I love history. I like community development, like education, started PTAs and stuff. So it's a wide range of interests that you can have that makes you not only more interesting, but it allows the creativity and the juices to flow, so that, you're never at a loss for ideas. That often, I teach in one of my courses that, how do you find the ideas inside of you? Or how do you find a good idea? It's like, they're all inside of you. Like you've lived so much of what you can write about. It's actually, to me, it's more about, well, what do you want? Well, pick one, because you've got 1,000. So what can you? Because many times, when it's average, when you're doing the same thing over and over again, you become bored, and you definitely become complacent. You become complacent because you don't want to do anything different. You're like, if you're like, hey, let's go do this. Like, nah, well, how about we do this? Nah, it's like going on vacation with someone and they don't want to see the place you are. It's like, well, no, I'm just here for relaxation. But you've never been here before. Don't you want to see what's here? I'm like, nope. It's like, what? And it's like, but you have to understand, it's like for some people that they are not leaving that comfort zone. But if you're one of those people like me, who you're like, I can't be, a little discomfort is usually a part of my everyday existence. Something is discomfortable, it's like, or uncomfortable. Sorry about that. But it's like that discomfort. It's like you need that to actually push you forward. Because if everything is always comfortable, if everything is always, ease and, like in terms of there's no, you don't really grow. If you never read a book beyond a certain level, then your brain will never really take on new topics. Your vocabulary doesn't change, or your speech, because the more you read, the more you learn, the more it processes in your brain, the more words you learn, because you're now reading things in the context of it is becoming new to you, and you're learning all kinds of new things. So I say, don't be bored. Don't be complacent. Don't always take the safe path. I'm not saying take dangerous paths. Don't do that. I'm like, danger? No, we're not going here. But, the thing is, learn how to look for the new experiences, even if it's uncomfortable. It's like go somewhere where you don't know people, and just learn. I've learned like being in the room with people who are your ambition level and above helps you to grow. It's like, I don't need to know have to actually always know what you're talking about, but just being in that room, hearing that conversation, it's like, I've never heard about that. Because I'm sure many people, like with the Robinhood stocks you heard about, the GameStop, like they've been playing at this low level, but they learned some new things, and they had the big boys like, wait, man, we like how we do stuff. But it's like when you learn some of those things, you can get to some bigger levels, so be open, being receptive. And like I was saying, and getting comfortable with discomfort, with being uncomfortable. And Seth Godin, who's written a number of books, he wrote, discomfort brings engagement and change. Discomfort means you're doing something others are unlikely to do because they're hiding out in the comfortable zone. So while you're out there, Nicole, you were making masks, you took like, hey, I can do this. Your whole family. I was like, I remember, when we were on the same street, I was like, they are so creative. Like they can make anything, but it's like, it goes to good use. And you see it in other areas. Like, I know you're into jewelry and you make jewelry and all kinds of things. And it's just like, but the work of your hands are blessed because you're putting into use all the things that are about you, all the skills, all the gifts, all the talents. And it's like the more you have and the more you learn, the more you have to give. And you actually will never run out of things because when you are giving it all out, when you're learning more, and I think that's part of who I am. Like the more I learn, the more I give out, because it's like, I can't hold it all myself. It's like, let's do this, What else can I learn? Okay, I need to share that with someone. It's like I learned how to write a book. I learned how to publish. It's like, let me share it with that to other people. How do you write your book? How do you get started? How do you take those pages that mean nothing? How do you edit? How do you publish? Like so many things that I've learned over time, but now I'm able to teach others or even work one-on-one with different people. And it's a great thing because it's like seeing, my bookshelf even fill up because I always buy my clients' books and other people's books. And it's like, because I want to support you. I want to support you. I want you to see that you made that effort. You got it out of your comfort zone. You wrote that book. You said you were going to do it. You talked about doing it and you actually did it. So I want to celebrate and honor that. And so, and another thing about that comfort zone is like, if everything is too good, you're probably living beneath your full potential. Hey, Jennifer, good to see you. I always say that when you run into problems, it means you're trying something new. If every day is like running like clockwork, and again, I'm not saying we want bad stuff to happen, but sometimes you need that challenge. It's called the plateau when you're working out. Like if your body is no longer straining at a certain weight level or a certain, exercise machine level, that means it's time to move to a higher level, more weight, and it's like, because when that gets easy, when 25 pounds is easy, then you need to go to 40 or 50. Because it's like, and you have to keep doing that. And it builds your muscle, it builds your strength, it actually builds your endurance even. Because the stronger you are, the longer you can sustain, the longer you can, go for it and do other things. That's right, Ivy, time to move to a high level. And thank you. Amazing video. I will be using that somewhere real soon. Thank you. And Day Day's in the house. What's up, cuz? And so we're talking about, how to get out of that comfort zone. Okay, how to get out of that comfort zone, that when you're doing something over and over again, when it's too comfortable, when there's no pressure, no resistance, that means you're getting complacent. That means you're not doing what you need to do. Hey, Brenda, good to see you. And so, so we want to move forward. And so I've been talking about different points. So we've had 3 points on what we should be doing. And the first point that we talked about tonight was embrace the resistance. That a lot of times you're like, nope, not doing that because it's hard. It's hard at first or it's uncomfortable. You've never done it before. Anything is uncomfortable you've never done. If you've never gone somewhere before, it's new until you've gone, and once you've gone there, you're like, oh, I want to go again. If you've never been to Mexico, if you've never been to Europe, if you've never been on an airplane even, and you go for the first time, you're like, okay. And now you can get over the fear and now you can go do it again, or you've tried a different food. Like I know, and I'm saying it wrong, bibimbap, Korean food. Oh my God, it's so good. But it's like, I never had it before. But I have a friend from Laos and she's like, oh, this is so good. You got to try it. And when I did, at first I was like, what's all that stuff in there? But then I was like, oh, it's just vegetables and rice, So I was like, this is really good, and whatever meat or protein you want. But it's like, it just looked different. It tastes amazing, but now it's like, it's one of those things that I eat, like an Impossible Burger. It was like plant-based burger. Now it's like, it's easy. It's good. I was like, you don't know until you try. Okay, so embrace that thing that's new. Embrace the resistance. It will help you grow and it will help you move forward. Number 2, Don't choose to be average, okay? We not in the average club here. That's not a club I'm signing up for. I don't want you to sign up for that club either. Don't be average. Do something remarkable. My cousin is on here. He's done a whole lot of remarkable things. They're honoring your dad now and all the Friendship 9 for the remarkable things they did, in the 60s to integrate lunch counters. Happy Black History Month again. So they chose not to be average. They chose not to be the people who said they're not going to let us sit and eat at the lunch counter. They're like, you know what? Whatever we have to do, we're fighting because we deserve to be seated and served as anyone else. And so we honor that. So they chose not to be average, okay? And then our third point for tonight was get comfortable with discomfort. That if it's too comfortable, if you're too complacent, that means you're not growing. That means nothing in your life is changing. If every day your routine is this, and this, it's like get up, go to work, come home, go to bed, get up, come, watch TV or whatever. It's like, is that your daily? It's like, I'm not saying you can't do that, but every day, all life, you work 30 years somewhere, you work wherever, and that's it. It's like, what else is there inside of you? Like, there's so much. Like, one of the great joys of working with clients who want to write a book is digging in, is getting inside of them and pulling out those amazing stories, those wonderful, crazy, stories that are inside of them that they don't even know is there. And so this is and yes, you will write your book. I already got a cover I'm working on for you. Yes, this will help you write your book. And so we got to get this done. It's like, don't be comfortable, or learn to be comfortable with discomfort. Everything can't be easy. If it's easy, then it's like, wait a minute, not that it has to be hard, but the thing is, sometimes the discomfort is because it's unfamiliar, because it's new. Okay. Because it's new. Hey, Tanya, good to see you. And so don't reject or resist something just because it's new. Sometimes you just got to learn it. Sometimes it's just a new experience, a new person, a new environment, a new location. Everywhere you go, it's like when kids go from, elementary school to middle school, they got to start all over again. Middle school to high school, they got to start all over again. High school to college, you got to start all over again. It's like you're always relearning, always starting again. And so when you embrace it, when you embrace those new things, like you're learning on a different level. When you go from high school to college, or from this type of job to, a higher level job or leadership position or something in your church. If you were in children's choir and now you're in praise team, it's like, that's a different kind of choir you're in. That's a different kind of level of singing that they're expecting you. Like how you played in the 5th grade band is totally different than you playing and leading, in an orchestra somewhere. So embrace those things that are new and different so that you can grow, and you'll see your life like blooming that much more. Like you have, you'll see how your life expands, the different people that you start connecting with, this whole Clubhouse situation. It's like, it's so many conversations, so much new thing that you can learn and digest and figure out and find your tribe, as they say. It's like, it's a great opportunity, to just start chatting about something, to just start learning something new or sharing what you know. And so that's one of the things that you need to do. And so tonight, Write It Out Wednesday, we've been talking about how to get out of that comfort zone, that we don't want to stay there, how to make changes, how to move forward in your life. And so if you want to move forward, especially with writing your book, I'm going to put a link down below that we can get started this year. I'm taking a couple more clients for this first quarter. So if you want to get moving in your book, I'll put a link down below. But in the meantime, I've got a course coming up. If you want to even join my course, that's going to be February. I don't know. I'm waiting. No, that's class. I think the 13th. I'll let you know. I'll put it in the community. But yeah, so in the meantime, I'm Valerie McDowell, your writer, editor, author, book coach, and consultant. I come out here twice a month to kind of get you back on your writing schedule for those who keep putting it off, that we want to make sure we put some priority on those things that you said you were going to write. I did a webinar last week, and I had people, I said, how long has it been since you said you wanted to write a book? There was a woman who said 50 years, y'all. 50. I'm like, what? Okay, let's get this book done. Okay, I don't know how old you are, but let's get this book done, okay? You down there with them farmers, huh? Right, but we got to move forward, because it's like, and some of those people down there, they're comfortable. They're not doing nothing different, So we're going to begin. That's right. Pray It's time. It's time to tell your story, Nicole. And so we're going to be moving forward in 2021. If you want to get on my schedule, I'll put a link down below. But I want to thank you for joining me here tonight. I come on here on the first and third Wednesdays, and you can find me online or in the community. In the meantime, have a great evening, and I'll see you soon. Bye.